Hello, welcome back. This is Matthew Jones, and remember, we are talking about the DS-260, and now we are on the crucial part. This talks about, the information about your travel history, you've ever been to US, to other countries, all that information. And also, it talks about some random question about your background checks, and also remember, it talks about that two common questions that you people ask about the vaccinations I'll be addressing on this video, and also about the social security card. I know most of you guys maybe don't know what this is, but I'll be addressing on this video, so stay tuned and let's talk about this. Let's talk about, and remember, if you have a question, please let me know in the comment section. Reach me out on my Facebook account and also my Instagram, and be more than happy to help you out. Remember to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and let's talk about this. So we are back. Remember, this is the third section, and it talks about previous US travel information. If you ever been to the US before, of course, this is where you get information to answer, and you don't have to worry. If you haven't, the easier it becomes. So the first question, have you ever been to the US? Of course, it's a yes or no question. Have you ever been issued a US visa? Of course, yes or no question. Have you ever been refused a US visa admission, withdrawn your application and admission? Okay, this all means about like you have ever attended a US interview, whichever case it was, and maybe you got denied, you got refused, or something like that. But if you've never been to the US embassy seeking for a visa, then it should be no. If you click on yes, then you have to give a reason of what happened. Then once you're done, you have to click on save and we proceed. So a good example is that, have you been to the US? Like there you click yes and you have to indicate all this information there. Have you been to the US? Have you been issued a US visa? Yes. When was that? You have to explain all that. Which class of visa was it? Stuff like that. So the other thing is about we got to talk about is the present work, education, training information. I think this is gonna be a great video, and actually most of you guys really do ask questions about this information, and let's jump right into it. So the first one is about primary occupation. What do you do right now? What do you do if you are unemployed? Of course, when you check the down arrow right here, I'm gonna give you a list of occupations. If you're unemployed, just give it unemployed. But personally, I was not employed, and when I did mine, and I just feel like a homemaker. That's one, like many people usually use that. I would advise you use it if you want, but if you get some occupation, choose it, and it's okay. So the other question comes: in which occupation do you intend to work in the US? Of course, what do you want to come and do here when you're already in the US? What do you want to do? Of course, there is a selection choices here, and once you click the down arrow, it will give you choices to choose from. If you're not sure, just choose others or just choose something. It's not that serious. Okay. The other one, save and proceed. Once you proceed, that's about present work, so you don't have to worry about that. So primary, you can choose agriculture, whatever you want. They all need the present employer information about, what you are doing there. And if you still have more occupation, you have to keep adding and adding until you are done with your occupations. So you don't have to jump all those because we don't need anything about that. And of course, you can write you're unemployed and explain like maybe you are out from school, you're still seeking for a job. And of course, this is the most common, homemaker. Do you have any other occupation? You can go with no. And of course, which occupation do you intend to work in the US? Just the same, homemaker. And that's okay. You don't have to explain more about it. So make sure you click on save as we proceed. So that's all we talk about in work. So these pages keeps repeating themselves. I don't need all these, so let's keep going, keep going. Okay, the other question is about your previous, your previous work. Why you previously employed? Most of the time it goes with no, but if you are, go ahead and put more info. Yes, and you have to highlight the information about your previous occupation. Then the other basic questions come about: have you attended any education institutions at secondary level and above. Of course, remember like the high school, the secondary school certificate, that's the minimum qualification level for this or any other training for like 2 years of experience and stuff like that. So if yes, you click yes. If no, you go by that. Remember to click save as we continue. So if you click, so here is a lot of information here. I think you need to write to read this if you're interested, but for us right now, we're not interested on that, and we just need to keep moving. Most of these pages are keep repeating themselves, trying to explain into deeper meanings, but we don't need them right now. This talks about employment. We are done with that. Okay, the other question is about additional, and this talks about, have you ever traveled to any countries or region within the last 5 years? Of course, if you moved out of your country, yeah, you need to indicate to which country you traveled to. If yes, you have to list the country and maybe the date where you traveled and when you were back. And if it's no, no more questions. Have you ever served in the military? Of course. If yes, it's yes. If no, you're gonna click with no and save and continue. And of course, there is some more explanation. Of course, if yes, you have to highlight the list and have you served? If yes, you have to select all those information right there. So after that, and you need you continue and you'll be having more and more question, and these most of these questions are yes or no question. If you say yes or you say no, sometimes they need some little explanation. So we go with the next question. Have you belonged to have you belonged to contributed to work of any professional social charitable organization? If yes or no. So most of these questions goes with no, most of the time, not every time, most of the time. So but there is a few questions I would like us to discuss about, and please, I always get more question about these few questions, and I really want to, I want to explain it for once and maybe people can understand. So what I say is that right here most of these questions are no answers. You just need to click by no, but there's some few questions that I need to get to that question so that I can address on it. I'll be there in a minute. So here's the question, and actually it's like the second one right here. Of course, the one talks about this. This is a store about the TB and stuff, so you have to indicate it's a yes or no. So the major question here is about the the vaccination. Actually, it's about the vaccination, and the question reads, do you have documentation to establish that you have received the vaccination in accordance to the US law? So guys, listen here. Before you attend the interview, you'll be scheduled for a medical checkup or medical whatever, and on that medical, that's where you get all the vaccinations required as per the US law. So by the time you're attending the interview, you'll have all of them. So if you go by yes, of course, it makes sense. Also, if you say yes, you don't need to explain anything. But if you go by no, of course, you don't have right now. If you go by no, it's okay, but you have to explain and say, like, I will take the vaccination required by the US law before I attend the interview when I got scheduled for the medicals. I'll take the vaccination before I attend the interview, and that's still okay. So in either way, the yes or no answer is still correct. But if you say no, you need to explain. All the others I told you about is about no question, no questions. And there's still one more questions. Let me jump out to it. So here we go. This question talks about, have you ever applied for social security number? Of course, if you've never been to the United States, of course, it's a no. But if you've been here and you applied, of course, it's a yes, and you have to answer some more questions. So that goes by no, most of the people. And the other question is, do you want the Social Security Administration to issue you a Social Security card? Of course, yes, this is something you need for you to get employed. Bro, if you got no this, SS number, that's social security number, bro, you're not getting any job here. So you better click yes on this. Do you want? Yes, please make sure you say yes on this. That's one of the most major questions that people ask, and maybe they are a little bit confused. So, and again, do you authorize disclosure? Yeah, of course, you have to allow this so that they can disclose all your information and make sure you get that card. Once you're done, it's already done. It's click save, and you're ready to submit your, your DS-260 is always complete. The next page is about sign and submit. Of course, if they ask you about if someone helped you to sign up, for me, I would rather say go with no to avoid more questions. But if you want to include someone else who helped you, then go ahead and create that. So then I will be talking next a video about how to click and submit your DS-260. So I know many people have been getting confusion about this, and I'll be helping you out this in the next video. See you then.